All right, everybody, welcome back to episode 9 of the Mass Appeal podcast, hosted by your boy Mark Lewis. What's up, guys? What's going on, guys? We took a week off. Jay Fine was on vacation. He was in La República Dominicana. Sí, senor. And now we're back. We need a little break. It was Easter too, so it kind of like fit in organically. Everybody kind of took a little break. We did 2 straight months of recording. It was fine. We're back, though, with a familiar face and a new guest. Guys, who's back?
Your boy Tommy is back at the hedgequarters at Hedge Better, and it feels good to be here. I was in the area today, and I figured I'd pop by to hop in the episode, so it's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Very excited to have him. Also excited to have our guest. We have Mr. Evan Abbott, founder.
The
notorious Evan Abbott, founder of...
Yeah, Vodkyte, the world's first spiked sports drink. Appreciate you having me on.
There we go. Hey, thanks for being out here, buddy. What was I going to say? Ev, we've been wanting to get you on for a while, buddy.
Yeah, no, I appreciate what you guys are doing up here. Headquarters is sick.
I was say, how do you like HQ? You feeling like a homey vibe here?
Yeah, dude, it's legit.
There's
some good stuff going on up here. So.
He's got. I got to say, it's kind of like a hidden gem, hole in the wall. You would never think it's here, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of like a little Alice in Wonderland. You just come right through the door. You just come right up, and it's just like, holy shit, there's a lot. Oh, yeah, you don't, dude, this place is the most unassuming place on planet Earth. I think it was a crack den from outside. You know what I'm saying?
It's definitely, every time I bring people out here, they're like, where the fuck are you taking me right now? And they walk up and they're like, oh, this is actually really nice.
They think
and
they're
I'm
about to get robbed.
It's I'm not trying to fucking, exactly.
They see Langer sitting on the couch. They're like, what the fuck is going on?
Baseball bat in his hand.
Exactly. What's good? But what was I going to say? So, Ev, one of the most fascinating things I find about you, obviously, is the whole entrepreneurial endeavor that you've been on for about how long now?
We started working on the initial blueprint for the company about 18 months ago.
That's pretty recent.
Yeah,
actually, to be honest with you. I mean, as Jay Fine, how long he's been doing this Hedge Better thing?
Yeah, no, it's not. It doesn't happen overnight for sure.
And you guys got going pretty fucking quick. Now, so from what I understand, what you told me, right? You had like a regular job, obviously, right? For however many years. You went to, tell us about like where you're from though and everything. I want to go through like your life here.
Yeah, sure. Grew up in Franklin, Massachusetts. Went through the school system there up until high school. Then went to a Catholic school, transferred over to a prep school as a big hockey player.
Did you go St. Seb's?
No, I went to Tabor Academy.
Oh, the Seawolves. Yep.
Yeah.
Big program.
Mark knows the deal.
One of my dad's best buddies played at Tabor before he went to UNH.
Wow.
Yep.
Small world.
Yep.
But then I, finished up there, went to UMass Amherst, graduated in 5 semesters, just grinded, knew that I needed to get out in the real world, start making some money.
5 semesters?
5 semesters.
You graduated college in 2.5 years?
2.5 years.
That's insane.
Oh my God. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm like 5 years in and I'm not even halfway through. So there's that.
Oh, trust
but
me,
it's like, I got a paper to write tonight. Shit.
Yeah. Trust me. I wish I had your talent. I did a 5th year at Tabor, so I had some AP courses going into college.
Wow, that's such a big help, bud.
Yeah, so I was probably a semester ahead going in, but then I grinded 6 or 7 classes each semester, did summer, winter sessions. Just knew as soon as I graduated.
Oh shit!
Yeah, the sooner I graduated.
Did you have like a full college experience because of that? Like, what's the experience like?
I think the cool thing about like coming from the boarding school background is that I was probably pretty mature going into college, and UMass, like there were probably a couple hundred kids from my hometown that went to UMass, and I played hockey and baseball. I played like 7 different sports growing up, so I knew kids from everywhere. Like I knew hundreds of people at UMass, so for me, like the parties were there for sure. I went to them. I went to the bars, whatever, but. I definitely think I made some sacrifices while I was there to try to.
Was it worth it in hindsight?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
I got out of college at, 21 years old, had a full-time job lined up as soon as I graduated. And yeah, I knew that the sooner I got through all of the academics, the sooner I'd be able to start putting money in my own pocket versus just living off of, the summer job income and just spending money in school. So, I made some sacrifices to better myself and
because UMass is one of those places that people I feel like want to just stay at fucking forever. I've never heard of anybody really like trying to get through it quickly. You know what I'm saying? People are like, let me kind of like milk this out for as long as I possibly can. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's like
for sure.
hearing somebody took the complete oppo take on that is like really kind of refreshing. That's cool.
For sure. Yeah. And, you know, I was kind of in tune to the fact that like, you know, your parents are helping you out or whatever, but that's going to end really quickly. So I knew that I had to kind of
That's good that you kind of learned that because
at a young age.
Right.
Yeah.
And like me too, growing up in Eastie, like, you know, I'm sure you know too, like money doesn't grow on trees.
Yeah,
you know?
no,
like,
yeah, I know.
I learned that lesson.
My parents threw me out at 23 and were like, yeah, sorry.
I learned that lesson very early. But yeah, I feel like too at UMass Amherst, there's so many people obviously from Massachusetts towns that go there, but like their whole high school also goes there too.
Yeah.
So like it's funny to hear you say like 200 people from your high school went there. So it's like Franklin University. Oh no, I mean I'm sorry, you went to St. Seb's. Or is it Seb's?
No.
I'm totally tuned out right
Tabor
now.
here. Hey,
Holy
here, Bud's
shit.
paying attention.
I'm like trying to
you know?
answer emails and I'm just gonna shut this.
Buddy's multitasking on the pod. I like it.
I was gonna say it's like Tabor University there. That's what I was trying to
There we
say.
go, yeah.
Yeah.
Tommy's gotten a little bit busier since he last appeared on the podcast. He's got a little bit, a couple extra things.
Hey, I'm just gonna shut up and be the
not a
fourth
big
mic
deal.
here. But
Hey,
go ahead.
buddy shut the laptop and opened it 4 seconds later. We got it. Buddy's back. No, what was I gonna say? Fucking
ahead,
no. By the way, Evan, is it safe to say, and obviously Tommy, Jay, fine, anybody who's grown up in Massachusetts, is it safe to say that everybody knows a kid or grew up with a kid that went to UMass and then just kind of disappeared and got like absorbed into the school that you kind of like never saw again?
I think there's a lot of people, like not even just UMass Amherst, just
Probably like college in
random
general. But I feel like
colleges.
UMass is like one of those like black hole schools that people just
I feel
get,
like
lost in. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I knew some kids that went to like Roger Williams and like I think it's in like Rhode Island and just like
It's a
never,
weird school to get sucked into. to
dead
be honest
random,
with you.
right? But there's like mad random schools. Like what's another one?
I feel like people do that with like I'm trying to think of where. It's on the tip of my tongue. I kind of know the one you're talking about too. Oh shit.
There's a bunch, dude. There's a bunch of like hole in the wall colleges that like people go and then they come out 4 years later and they're like a hippie now. And I'm like, oh shit, good for you. UVM, yeah.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, you were
socks and like hairy legs. And
I'm like, oh, you were just one of the boys in the locker room, and then 4 years later, you're like, you know, smoking weed and taking psychedelics, and like your hair's down to your fucking waist. But like, that's cool if that's what you want to do. But it's
listen,
like,
everybody
fun.
finds themselves in college, or was
Yeah.
supposed to, right? At least, hey, listen, you just found yourself, and it's a different person than we all thought. I guess. You know what I'm saying?
I think
Whatever.
in general, right, like the real world kind of hits people, slaps them in the face a bit. So, you know, like growing up, everyone kind of, you know, plays sports, hangs out with hometown friends. Their parents are driving them to school, picking them up from school, whatever it is. So they're kind of, you know, guided in a certain way. And then when you get to college, you know, you realize it's kind of the free world. Like you get to do whatever you want. So some people, you know, use it to their advantage. Some people don't know what to do.
It sounds like you were ready for that proverbial slap. If
Yeah,
you want
no,
to say that, like, it sounds like you were ready for that. You know what I mean?
It hit me at a young age for sure. It hit me at a young age.
Right. Just got it out of the way early.
Yeah, I have 2 siblings. You know, like I said, I went to boarding school, so my parents like.
What's the boarding school experience like?
Oh, it's amazing.
Really?
Yeah. If
I
you,
hear mixed reviews at boarding school.
Same. I've heard mixed things, but
I
that's
think
funny.
like at least at a school like Tabor Academy, like if you're, you know, plugged into the system in the sense that you're like an athlete or like you're in like that social group, you can really use it to your advantage.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't send my daughter to boarding school. That's for sure.
Right.
Take a mental note of that.
Yeah, so like
Jot that down.
I had like these experiences at a very young age, and like the hometown was still there too, right? So I still had, you know, a social scene in my hometown, but like adding in the boarding school, you know, you're living with all your friends and you're playing, you know, you're a decent player on the hockey team and you're one of the guys on the baseball team. Like, you know, I had a good experience.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah.
So why don't you take us through like where the whole idea came from?
Yeah,
How that
sure.
kind of
So,
reversed.
you know, I was never really into like drinking. Like I loved partying, but I was never really into drinking when I was
Based
in
on what
college.
I've known you from the last 6 months, that is a very surprising fact to hear.
Yeah, that's
That-
true. And I thought that
I thought
someone that's, you know, founded a liquor company, but I do have to say when I do see you, it's always like you're sober, you're professional, like you're there
Yeah.
to do business.
Oh no, you're never sloppy anyway. I'm just saying, just from like being in the scene with all this shit, like I would never guess that you weren't a big drinker. I thought you had been like experienced with this type of beverage and been like, I can do this better is what I was trying to say.
So yeah, so I was not into drinking, and I didn't really understand why, because I saw kids that would pound beers or drink a lot. Whenever I did drink, it would be like hard liquor. It'd be bottles of vodka, and I'd mix it with like Gatorade or lemonade or whatever I could grab. So I didn't really understand what was going on. Then I graduated from UMass, moved into my own apartment. COVID hit, so all the bars, everything was closed. I had this nice place in Seaport, and 6 months of like that initial COVID rush had gone by, and people were itching to get out and do something. All the bars and restaurants were still closed. So I started throwing parties in my apartment, and because kids had done absolutely nothing for 6 months, they were all coming. So we were throwing these huge parties mid-pandemic. 70 to 100 people are showing up.
The second wave of COVID that just hit Massachusetts this past year, it's probably from
probably from the Seaport penthouse.
Generated. They used Ground Zero is 2500 Seaport Avenue, whatever you're at.
Yeah, they used to call them super spreaders. Yeah, but regardless, I knew I had this little platform, this ability to get my name out there, and people were coming to see me, and they were having a good time. I was showing them a good experience.
You're like a social epicenter for people.
Yeah, for sure. So, everyone was bringing over the seltzers and sometimes beer or whatever, and just stuff in a can. And I just couldn't drink seltzer. I couldn't even get drunk off them. I couldn't get them down quick enough. It just made no sense to me what's going on. So I used to mix Grey Goose and Gatorade, and I'd pound those and get drunk. And I was like, you know what? This is a better way to drink. It's a better way to consume alcohol than a highly carbonated seltzer or a heavy beer. And there just wasn't really anything like it in a can. So it dawned on me hey, we could put this in a can and sell it. So I pitched it to my roommate at the time, Kyle Kent, and he was like, that's the best idea I've ever heard. We got to do it. And we just got the ball rolling. Took a lot of, capital up front that we had been working for the last few years to save up. But
and this is the thing with any entrepreneurial endeavor. I feel like this is where the gray area comes in, where people it's kind of like breaking into the entertainment industry or whatever. There's always this kind of weird void that is kind of not understood. So you had your own money to put up at first. Right, because you had a pretty good job for a while.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I was working a 9-to-5 job at a bank, making good money, paying high rent in an apartment in Seaport. I had the ability to use some of that to get this off the ground. Yeah.
And then how do you go into an initial round of raising money? And Jay Fine can talk about this too, because he's done the exact same thing. How do you go into raising that initial, I have this idea, I need more money. How do I do this?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
I think the first step is, getting all of the infrastructure in place to then kind of
the business plan.
Yeah. Orchestrate a pitch to people. And then the first place you turn is your close family and friends and say, here's what I'm trying to accomplish. Are you interested in helping me out? And of course, my close family and friends were all interested in it. They thought it was a great idea. They wanted to help me out, but that only goes so far. They're not extremely wealthy or whatever. So, we continued to leverage networks of networks. So we ended up landing with a guy who he's a billionaire. He, owns a venture.
A segue. Yeah. Ended up landing with a billionaire.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Not a big deal.
Yeah. I knew that we needed somebody that had the means to get us to another level of, capitalization, right? We couldn't do this with no money. We couldn't do this.
Where did this guy's money come from? You don't have to tell us exactly who it is, but was he in real estate or some shit?
No, the majority of his wealth was generated through a fashion brand, clothing.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll talk about it a little bit. Tory Burch, the women's clothing brand, he owns that. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Wow.
Yeah, his ex-wife is Tory Burch. His name's Chris.
Oh,
Burch.
that's This is Chris Burch.
Yeah. Right. So he, they've since divorced or whatever, and he has a ton of businesses now. He, owns a venture capital firm. So, but he didn't put in an overextension amount of money. He gave us a little bit of money to get us going. And then family and friends contributed to the investment round too. So we raised one investment round. We're more than likely going to raise a second investment round in the next few months. And yeah, just grinding it.
Is there a sense of anxiety once you actually get this money? Like, is there a kind of like, are you nervous now at that point where you're like, oh, fuck, now these people have trusted me with this money. I kind of fantasized about this.
I mean, I think with any business where people are giving you large sums of money, there's going to be some pressure.
Right. Like, are you feeling pressure at that point? Like,
if you present them the business plan and you're fully transparent, you got to kind of expect them to be confident in you if they're giving you that money.
And I'm tying this into like the whole, like, it sounds great. I'm being an entrepreneur. I'm raising this money. But now you actually have to like make these people back their money. And it's like, oh shit, now like the spotlight's on me. These people are counting on me. You know what I'm saying?
I think the thing that keeps me at peace with it is nobody has really extended themselves in any way to help us out other than like financially, other than me and my partner, Kyle. Like we've put in more money collectively, Kyle and I, than anybody else has. So like our money is where our mouth is, like our skin's in the game.
Yeah.
We quit our 9-to-5 jobs. Like we've made all the sacrifices. And at this point, you know, like the investment's more of kind of an opportunity. Like no startup investments a guaranteed hit by any means.
No, right.
Like,
exactly.
most startups don't succeed. So
and people with fucking that kind of money can afford to take that kind of risk.
Yeah. It's like, you know, like if you have a couple $1 million in your retirement account, what's, you know, 20 to 50,000 in a high risk investment? Like you might as well get involved to support it. And
right.
You know, the other thing is it's cool, right? Like we do cool events. It's a cool business. It's a cool product. Like it's differentiated. Like it has some legs to it, you know, like it's just cool to be involved with. So that's kind of how we framed it in that first fundraising round. I think going forward, it's going to be more kind of institutionalized and higher stakes for sure. But
and what are you looking to accomplish in the second round? Like, what are you looking to go? Where do you want this company to get to in the second level?
Yeah, I mean, we're big in Massachusetts. We're out there for sure.
I was going to say, you guys are now, since I met you, you're in so many more stores. And this was what, 6 months ago, maybe?
We launched the week of Thanksgiving of last year. So we're about close to 5 months in.
Yeah, right. Okay, so then we met like 4 months ago. Yeah, right.
To tie into that too, so obviously before your launch, actually launching the product, you're trying to prepare for everything you possibly can.
Yep.
After launching, you said 5 months in.
Yep.
What are any new challenges or things you thought were going to be challenges that weren't, that you experienced within the first 5 months of actually launching the product? Has there been any that
caught you by surprise? Or
yeah, I think like the biggest challenge for us is scaling into the new markets, right? So I had a very extensive network in Massachusetts. Like I said, we had the apartment. We threw 75 parties to promote the brand. We have connections with every bar and nightclub in the city. Like we've done events at all of the best spots. Like we've promoted it on Instagram. We have tons of video content, etc. Like we have thousands of customers in Massachusetts. But as we're looking to scale, you know, we're now in 4 states. We're in New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Connecticut. It's like, you know, nobody cares. Like everything that comes in mass is like we're smoking it. But then like as you go to a new state, you're a completely new brand. It's a completely new launch. You have to build your own network again there. And you know, there's ways that you can spend money to advertise, right? Influencer marketing, more traditional advertising channels, but it's tough as a startup brand. We don't obviously have like
influencer marketing with Tommy Guarino. By the way, not a big deal.
And I mean, like,
check the poster.
Like it's crazy the people that I've worked with, right? It's like I had my own first of all, I had my own small following, right? Like, so people are tuning into what I'm doing.
You are. You absolutely, fucking a lot of people. I was like
right?
surprised. I'm like, oh my God, like, this guy Evans really got like fucking.
Yeah.
When he first like showed me who you were, I was like, oh, this kid's fucking.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So like we leveraged
a little bit.
We leveraged my network. We leveraged people like Tommy. We leveraged, Bean Shooter. Like even like Jet Littlefield has his own like differentiated kind of network. He used to, like sell weed back in like high school. So he's got like kids that used to buy weed off him, which are kids that, me coming from like a prep school and playing sports stuff, I would never have known those kids, right?
It's like a mix, but it sounds like a very melting pot of different social circles that you kind of brought together
like
around the brand. Yeah.
I've gotten creative. I've leveraged just about everybody in my network to the best of my ability. And it's like, that's why we've sold, $170,000 worth of product at this point, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like, again, like getting outside of that network, like word of mouth only takes you so far. You
Yeah.
need to put a lot of resources into everything, and
Right.
you know, it's the grind that we're in right
It's
now.
fucking hard growing. Listen, I always say it's not. I don't want to say it's not that hard to start at home. I'm not saying that it's not hard. It is hard. I'm just saying, like you said, when you go into a different state where you don't know fucking anybody,
Yeah.
it's tough. It's 3 times as hard
Oh yeah.
to just reintroduce yourself to new people. Think about it. If you just moved to like Iowa and just,
Yeah.
hey, my name's Evan.
Right.
We should be friends. People would be like, what? You know what I'm saying?
And I think
Like,
that's
it's
huge when you know you have a good product, because that gives you even more leverage. It's not like you're going to these random states and you're presenting them dog shit to try.
Yeah, the thing
you know
that
what I mean?
the thing that really you know, keeps me going in the right direction is I know that the product is differentiated and has a spot in every liquor store. Like there is a consumer out there who would want to drink Vodkyte for reasons because it's differentiated, right? So like, and it's good too. You know, brands are definitely kind of, I don't want to say born online, but they're definitely directed online, right? So like even Bud Light, right? Like they spend, you know, $6 million on a Super Bowl ad. They're, you know, the sponsor of every like NFL team, right? So it's like people are buying Bud Light for reasons that have nothing to do with the product.
Right.
Absolutely nothing to do with the product. It's just a socially integrated brand.
And I think that's huge because especially with Vodkyte, you've told me before, you guys are trying to market this more as like a sports drink, correct?
Yeah. So
I think the biggest thing for this brand is going to be when inevitably some college or professional athlete just doesn't give a fuck at some point and just whips this thing out and cracks it on the sidelines during the game, like Antonio Brown or someone. Like that's going to be his last ditch in the NFL. Is going to be Antonio Brown cracking one of these things.
That's what I was.
And like
that was going to
flipping
tie
the
into
bird
my
at the crowd and good.
Sorry, flipping the bird at the crowd.
Yeah, just like and just slugging one of these things down. People are like, what the fuck is this guy doing? He's drinking Vodkyte, and then
I was going to say that ties into my next question because we kind of just went off the rails a little bit there.
Yeah, my bad. I got jacked
No,
up,
it's
sorry.
fine. So, I was saying, like, you're going to kind of market this sort of like a sports drink. I was going to say, if you could have one Boston athlete really, like, if like tomorrow, if you're like, all right, you have one Boston athlete to pick to like throw this on their Instagram, who would it be?
Oh, it's a good question. I like this.
I think, you know, I think the Bruins are going to be a place that we turn. We've definitely done some networking with some of those guys.
Not a bad place to network.
No.
Yeah, I think
Best,
the
most salt of the earth fan base in the city. I can tell you that much.
yeah, I think like the you know, obviously like a Jason Tatum has a monster platform. He's global, but like
Foul.
he's working with Gatorade. You know, it's like
right.
none of these
I
Bruins
feel
guys
like NHL players go really under the radar.
Under the radar
especially when it
is
comes
right.
to partnerships with brands.
Yeah.
Like, do you really know any NHL players besides like, you know, Austin Matthews that are really partnered with big brands?
Like Reebok. Yeah, who's he with? Like Reebok? Like I don't even know who he's even like
Right.
with. Like you know what I'm saying?
McDavid.
Even look at a guy
McDavid.
like I mean, I don't want to take your answer from you, but look at a guy like Marchand. Like
Yeah.
he's not really partnered with any drinks, right? So
Right.
imagine having a guy like Brad Marchand promoting your product. That
Yeah.
would be sick.
Yeah.
thing that's tough about it is like Brad Marchand's like 36
He's
now.
older.
Right?
Yeah, that's
so like
He's like, I want to say he's going to be like 33, 34.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
so
a
he-
little bit older than me. Yeah.
so he's made, you know, $60 million in the
Mhm.
NHL. So like what's a $10,000 brand?
You'd have to
deal
go
gonna
for
do
like
him?
David
you have
Pasternak.
to go for like
Yeah.
Pasta, like Jake DeBrusque or somebody like
You
that.
need to get creative with it. You need somebody that's buying into the longer term vision of our product. So
Right.
yeah, we're working on it.
100%. Now here's the other thing, Ev. We were talking about this on the phone last night or whatever. Every endeavor, every kind of journey of some kind has a low, right?
Yeah.
You hit one of yours fairly recently. Can
Yeah.
you take us through what that felt like? And I know you'll be honest about it and whatever. It's part of the journey. It's part of anybody's doing anything, whether you're in an entrepreneurial thing, content, whatever the fuck. Me and Tom were literally just talking about this on the way up here. We've wanted to quit how many times?
Yeah, I think it ties into just, you know, you have bad days, whether it be, you know, as an influencer, as a company, as just an everyday person working your job. But, you know, you never lose the vision. That's the biggest thing. You never lose the vision. You never lose the passion and the drive why you're doing this. But everyone hits lows. Like I've had probably once a week, I'll have a bad day
Yeah,
where I'm like,
legit,
fuck,
yeah.
this sucks. But the thing that drives me is the long-term vision of what I know I can get to, you know?
Right.
So
Can
Yeah.
you talk us through yours? Like, how do you feel? How did you feel about whatever it was a couple months ago you were dealing with?
Yeah, no, we you know, unfortunately we took a bath on some bad product that our our manufacturing facility put out. And we had to pull that and you know, take care of it internally. Luckily, like it wasn't out there at the market too deep where we just literally ran around to the stores and bought it off
And
the
that's
shelf.
something
legit.
you can't prepare for that. Like that's something you
No.
can't prepare for.
Yeah, it's totally out of our control. So like,
I had no idea this is how that went down. That's crazy.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah. So again, we took care of it fortunately, and it didn't sink our business by any means. And again, like this is where like Kyle and I like putting our own money where our mouth is and taking care of things that maybe don't go wrong, right? Like we're willing to take risks on our own kind of dime and hope that it hits. And then like if there's kind of a repetitive, you know, blueprint for it, we'll, you know, run that through our business.
Right.
But like we're learning, you know, we're first time entrepreneurs, and there's a lot of third party risk with owning a beverage company. And
I mean, but I think any brand, right, on their, you know, from their initial like point of inception to like wherever they're at currently, always hits this point where they're like, it hits a point where they're like, this, we might be done. Like where we might be done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I remember Barstool did it with the blackout parties or whatever. When kids were like legit blacking out and almost dying at their shit, and they're thinking they're gonna get sued into next week, and they're like, Dave and Portnoy was like in the documentary, if you watch it, he's like, well, I thought we were fucking done. We'd already burnt through so much money promoting this shit, and then like the rest of the tour got shut down. They lost like 15 tour dates because of it, and it was like I'm saying, like any brand, any entertainer, anything comes to some point where they're like, fuck, we might be like done. This might be it.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get through it.
And I even relate to that too, especially as influencers nowadays, athletes, artists, anyone that's big on social media, you deal with the whole cancel culture bullshit. You deal with that. You got to watch your every step of what you're doing. So I market myself like I'm a walking business at the end of the day. Like this is my full-time job to make money off of my own image. So day to day, like I got to be careful what I put on social media, how I market myself. So luckily I've surrounded myself around a good team of business savvy individuals that kind of help me and advise me in the right directions. But even with me, like I deal with it every day. Like you really got to be careful with what you're doing, and you have to be able to act on the spot if something goes wrong.
100%. Yeah. You know, it's just like fucking when you're on this kind of like, when you're putting yourself out there so much more than like the average regular everyday person is.
Yeah.
That's stuff. You know what I mean? Like
that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. You're subject to so much more than some random average guy that nobody knows exists is. You know what I'm saying?
I truly think the main thing, and you could talk to this too, Evan, is just keeping that tunnel vision of where you know this is going to go and the potential where it's going to go, and to just keep pushing no matter what hits you on the way.
Yeah, nothing's smooth. Everything costs more money, takes more effort, goes less successfully than planned, but you know you're still making progress as you're doing these things.
Right.
The thing that you just said where like you know, people are advising you and whatnot, like that's why I like, you know, how we have a working relationship, right? Like I'm constantly talking to you about things. You're telling me what you think you could do to help me. And even the other day when you dropped that Duncan video, I'm like, hey, that's not like for them, right? You're like, no, it's just for my page. I'm like, good, because that's not what they're gonna want out of a corporate.
Even me with
right?
Flybet, I came to you in the penthouse that night. The first night I came to your house, I said, hey, I told them about you. And I said, hey, this is what we're doing. Like, what do you think I should do? And you told me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think a lot of people that are, you know, starting their own businesses or doing stuff on social media, trying to promote things, whether it be themselves or a brand, I think they neglect looking for help or asking for help. And I think that's the main thing that I've learned over the last 6 months really is networking and a support system is two of the biggest things you can have.
Yeah.
Whether it be a startup, you're an entrepreneur, because sure, you can do it on your own, but you're going to have so much of a better chance if you have a good group of people around you that are helping you too.
Yeah.
It's never wrong to ask for help, you know?
No, 100%. And like Ev, you've had to do things that like you moved out of the seaport.
Yeah.
You did things that you had to, this is what you had to do. And you know, sometimes it's not the sexy thing. It's not the fun thing that you want to tell people or whatever, but like you do what you got to do. And that's totally fine, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like you've been super honest about that. Like there's no shame in it, obviously. Like you've done what you had to do. You had to change some things around about your lifestyle and adjust. That's all for the greater purpose of the long-term goal.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, for sure. I think I knew like that I had zero reservations with putting myself out there to people. And that's kind of what enabled me to take this step to begin with, right? Like my partner, Kyle, he's not necessarily as kind of in the, you know, the limelight of
that would
things.
make sense because I have no clue who he is, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I
right.
know you and I have no
He
clue who
does
this
a
kid
lot
is.
of-
So yeah.
He does a lot of the work that I need behind the
scenes, right?
And I'm the one who really puts myself out there and networks with people like you know,
Right.
like not it's not for everyone.
That's
putting
what
your
I'm
face
saying
behind
too.
stuff.
Like that's what I'm saying with having a team behind you. Like I have, and you guys both know, like I have individuals behind me
Yep.
that help me that aren't in the limelight that people don't know about, which
Yeah.
is what you need, because if you have everyone in the limelight, you know, it's gonna be overwhelming to different people, and you can't take care of things in a beneficial way.
And those are the unsung heroes of everybody's journey.
100%.
The people that don't need to be like, I'm the guy out in the front. Like I like to have to be seen with their arm around you in pictures and stuff like that. Like I've been helping this guy with everything that he needs.
Like even we were just talking about before we started recording the Nelk Boys. Like they have the dude John and someone else, the two brothers. You know what I'm talking about, right, Evan?
Yep.
I forget their name, but
John
they,
and Sammy.
But they run all the business operations in the back end, and the Nelk Boys are the guys who are in the front end doing the talent. Obviously, they're still involved in the business side, but to have two guys in the back end that are really taking care of day-to-day
those guys
stuff,
should name their fucking price because those guys are invaluable.
I'm sure they're getting
based on how
taken
they-
care of in some
Yeah,
way.
no, but they've done great. Those guys have done a fucking fantastic job with Nelk and like, you know, keeping it up to, you know, keeping them up to speed and constantly having them, you know what I mean?
And
like,
I think that's what really took like full send to the whole next level, you know, just having guys in the back end that know what they're doing. But that can tie into any business, you know.
I can't believe, side note, I cannot believe how much they made off that NFT fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
35 million over. That's fucking absurd, man.
Crazy.
A lot of money.
That's unbelievable. Good for them. That's fucking crazy. What how do you feel about, Evan, like you've been in the city of Boston now for a while. Obviously you grew up in the state. Like how do you feel about the current state of Boston as a city with the nightlife, how the real estate thing is all changing and everything like that? Kind of the identity of the city is changing. Like how do you feel about, because now you have a brand based here. You know what I'm saying? You're not just a kid from Massachusetts anymore. You have like financial ties into the city now.
Sure.
So like how have businesses been to you, like welcoming you in for events? Like who's been like, you know, because you've been fucking around on like almost like a mini tour.
Yeah.
With
No,
this brand, you know what I'm
I've done
saying?
all the Boston. I've done all the Boston venues for sure.
You met just about everybody.
Yeah. I think you know, certain people want to help, most people don't.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that goes with anything. Actually, to be honest with you, yeah.
Yeah, no, I've definitely I've made a lot of people a lot of money. And
Yeah.
Have you found that Massachusetts is how do I want to put this? I want to say brand friendly place where like, I mean, I think you guys just answered that. You said a lot of people don't want to help, but you've networked with people that do want to help also.
I think it's a great term, by the way.
Be-
Brand friendly.
Do you know what I mean?
that.
Like,
Yeah,
think of it like
yeah,
so
sure.
Kind of
It's-
it kind of ties into the influencer stuff too, where like I talk about New York and LA, Florida, or like Miami. They're all tapped into.
I feel like if we were in LA, all three of us right now, we'd be doing like completely different, like almost on like a completely different level. Like
I feel like you can identify your brand more in a place like Boston, where it's a smaller market that's more untapped. Do you feel like that?
No. I think
No.
yeah.
Buddy,
no,
just keep
I
it
think Boston's very painfully
Interesting.
very
kept almost. Is that
yeah,
like makes sense?
I think big players are controlling.
Interesting.
Boston
That's
is-
interesting.
Like, do you think
Yeah.
Boston's not just under the thumb of places like the Dunkin' brand or like Budweiser or fucking like Sam Adams? No
Yeah,
disrespect
Boston, yeah.
to any of these brands. I'm just
No.
saying they've
Yeah.
been.
It's
here
not.
for,
It's
like-
not a knock on it. Even
It's-
like Big Night, like they're a huge brand in Boston. And again, it's not a knock on any of these brands,
Yeah,
but
it's-
I
right.
do understand what you're saying. Where it's like there's probably a handful that really control the space.
Yeah, 100%. I think, you know, for a CPG brand and like a product based brand, it's challenging. I think.
Total side note, by the
I-
way, what does CPG stand for the people at home?
Consumer packaged good.
There we go.
yeah.
Quick little anagram for the boys there.
I think
Had no clue what it was.
Yeah, I think it's challenging for us. I think on the internet, it's a different story. I
Yeah.
think, you know, like
Because you can't buy up space on the internet. There's so much of it, it's impossible to monopolize. That's why.
yeah,
Now,
I
like
think,
if you guys wanted to do like an event, let's say at like Hurricane O'Reilly or whatever the fuck it's called, Hurricanes at the Garden now.
yeah,
Like they're going to go for a corporate sponsor first.
yeah, for sure.
They're going to go
yeah.
to the Jack Daniels. They're going to go to the fucking Jamesons, the
Yeah.
Proper 12 and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we face a lot of call it, restriction based on the industry, how things work for billion-dollar alcohol suppliers. For sure.
Yeah, right.
Truly's another big one.
Yeah, but it's owned by Boston Beer. It's the same. It's Sam Adams, Truly, and
Is it? I never knew that. Is it really?
Oh yeah, Boston Beer is huge. They're in the same neighborhood as us. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't fucking know that.
Yep.
Look at Evan dropping dimes in the entrepreneurial world on this pod. Now I love it. This is what I was hoping. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think where we win is in these pockets of the internet, right? We work with guys like Tommy. I'm connected with people like Bob Menery, like Bean Shooter, right? It's like they have their own like fan bases that I'm, able to provide value to them in some way, shape, or form. And in return, they bring me up a little bit and then, eyes are on Vodkyte. And, luckily the product's different enough that people are attracted to it and they go try it. And then, some customers stick, some don't. But it's really, really challenging there's so many other brands that people like me have tried to launch that have done.
And I think you've done a great
of what we've done.
And I think to kind of tie into what I said earlier about networking, it's the most valuable thing I think you can have as a brand or someone trying to grow. And because relationships are the biggest thing you could possibly have. I have a venture going on right now with Snapchat where I connected with a guy a year ago over something completely different. And we just built a good relationship. We didn't talk for a year, but that same guy remembered me when a spot opened up where now I'm making, a good income monthly. Yeah. So just building.
That both me and Evan are extremely jealous.
I mean, I remember. Yeah.
But
not jealous. He deserves it all.
I'd say, yeah, no, it's,
look,
yeah, of course.
Here's the thing though, right? Like I remember 3 months ago, we were sitting in my apartment wondering what to do for you. Like I was trying to
what's
help
the next
you
move?
Yeah, right. And it's like
I remember when you called me when I was at work that day.
Probably, yeah.
Like a couple of months ago, and you were like, "What do I do?" I'm trying to figure out what I do next.
Step?
Yeah, exactly.
But but like here's the thing, right? Like you stayed consistent. You stayed posting on the internet. You stopped going to school, right? So it's like it's not like this shit just like fell into your lap. Like you've been working, you've been building your platform. You're a talent, So it's like it makes all the more sense for him to hire you to do his show. That's the category you're in. You're the biggest Boston
personality.
I feel like I can draw a lot of parallels from influencers or talent along with startup brands like yourself, because we're all entrepreneurs at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right. And we were just talking about this the other day. I was talking to a couple family members. This content shit, dude, is like people think it's like, you put out a video and you just expect, listen, you know how many videos me and this kid and Tommy probably thought we're going to change our lives and just nothing. Yeah, and then like you sit there and build yourself and you put all this time and you kind of just have to continue trying.
So
you have to fail to succeed.
Fail to succeed. That's literally
all right. Yeah. So I think me and Tommy can probably relate to this one. Tommy posted a series of skits. I think it was late summer that went like mega viral.
It was like July. Yeah.
Mega viral. So you were probably sitting there thinking this is going to change my life. You went from 500,000 followers to 1 million in like a month.
Which is huge to astronomically huge.
You'd expect like corporate sponsors to be coming in the door, et cetera, et cetera. It didn't happen, right? We launched our business. It was the craziest launch like you could ever imagine. We sold $100,000 worth of product in our first month.
Holy shit!
Like
wow.
We were, yeah. But I had laid that groundwork, right? I threw parties for a full year leading up to it. I put myself out there in the internet. People were laughing at me. They're like, "There's no way you're gonna be able to pull this off." Like I put the Vodkyte brand and the concept and the idea out there in April of 2021.
What? Right?
We didn't end up launching until November. So I had I was throwing parties. I had branded merchandise. I was giving merch out to people and everything. And people were like, "Where is it? Where is it? When's it coming? When's it coming? When's it coming?" And we finally launched it in November, and of course it was hot, but since then there's been a coming back down to earth, and like you had the same thing. You had those videos go viral, and then all of a sudden like your views are shot, and you're like, there's no sponsors. What am I doing?
And that moment weeds out the people who really want it from the people that just try and get it.
You got to keep going.
Exactly.
Like you dropped out of your. I don't want to call it dropped out, but you stopped taking classes in school when you had no income.
No,
nothing.
Because what do we always say, Tom?
You got to take risks.
Yeah.
Yes, you always got to take risks.
And there's no plan B.
There's no plan B. And I think that's the main thing, and this ties into Vodkyte too, is you got to stay consistent. You got to stay relevant. That's the two biggest things
Yeah.
in the social media world. And I'll even tie our boy Jake Polino into this, where he grew really fast. Then he was on a I don't want to say downward, but he was on a plateau for about 6 to 8 months. And then all of a sudden he tried something new. He just stayed consistent every day, the same thing he was doing, and one thing hit, and now he's probably one of the biggest sneaker influencers in the world.
What
right
was
now.
that thing for him? I'm trying to
Air Force Ones. He was dyeing Air Force Ones in coffee.
Oh no, but I'm saying, what was he doing? Was he not
So
always doing that?
No. He was doing like voiceover stuff. He was doing some comedy stuff. I think he was doing t-shirt customs for a little bit.
Okay.
But he's a good friend of mine, and like we always talk about it. He's like, I was always into sneakers, but I never really thought about doing it on TikTok. So right when he started doing sneaker customs on TikTok, it just blew up, and it's a passion of his. So that's just another way to tie into staying consistent, staying relevant, and it paid off for him. So I'm happy for him. Have you talked to Jake?
Yeah, we keep in touch for sure.
He's off doing a million things too. He's going to launch his sneaker brand soon. Shout out Jake. I think it's called Kizzo Kick. So
I'm pumped that he's dropping his own sneaker, huh?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been working on it for the last 5-6 months. I
know.
I don't want to give anything away, but he's they're going to be dropping it eventually. I don't know when.
It's mind-boggling to me. Like, I've tried to help intro him to like New Balance and Puma because I have connections at those two spots, and like how little they value it. I mean, I get it. Like, New Balance is working with Jack Harlow, right? Like, obviously that's better. But dude, Jake has one of the most viral bits on the internet, and
I think he has a good attitude where he doesn't want to come off as like a salesman or like, quote unquote sell out, which is, people I make my money that way. I do brand deals. I need to make my money, but he really believes in this vision of creating his own thing, which in time can be $1 million business.
I don't think you'll have to do brand deals for much longer. I think you have people like me that believe in you that'll make it a little bit more of kind of like corporate partnerships. I think
that's the goal, is to have a long-term partnership with some companies.
I think you're talented in the sense that you can build your own programming, like the Snapchat show that you're doing right now. Like, yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that's really making the show, but hey, you're doing all right for yourself working with them, and you're the talent. And I if you're making X amount of income, you're not going to take these brand deals,
and it just opens up a whole different avenue for myself with new ideas. And I guess that can tie into another question to you. What is your, like, do you have any big future plans for Vodkyte in the near future, or like any different avenues you guys are trying to go down? I know that you guys are in the process of launching a roller hockey thing.
Yeah. The roller hockey's kind of,
I don't know if that ties in directly to Vodkyte or
no. We got someone's doing that.
Yeah. I know Kyle told me about it. That's why I don't know if you guys are doing something.
Yeah.
I think your guys' merch is going to be, when you have like a desirable merch, like merchandise, like logo and just stuff that people like want to wear. Mm-hmm. Like, not even because they're like, no, I'm not, this is an offensive thing at all, but like, even if they don't like even fuck with the drink.
Yeah. They would wear their merch and come to the parties.
I would just wear that. Even if I didn't drink this, or even I could have thought this was piss, to be honest, whatever it was, if I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I would still wear that hat.
Yeah. 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's where like brands can really, I don't want to say even things out, but kind of like dip their feet in both pools as far as like product, merch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. And what I think is unique about what I'm doing with our business is I'm showing people an experience as well. So every event that we do is pretty much like a hit. So it would be good to get more, of like that full send merch drop kind of concept going.
Right. Do you guys have any event plans or like anything in the near future that you're going to be dropping or throwing?
What's up on the tour? It's coming up for the summer, buds. You got to be ready to go here.
Yeah. No, we got three bars on Cape Cod that are we're going to be ripping.
Might have to take a trip down.
Yeah. So that's a good angle for the the summer vibe.
Yeah, that's going to be unreal.
Nothing to announce in terms of like a big event. I do want to get to a point where I'm renting out my own venue and throwing my own event, booking my own artist, selling my own tickets, whatever.
Right.
So that's a longer term vision for the brand for sure.
That's going to be awesome though. And I feel like that's something people always want to do. You know, like a little beach bar or something like that. Like if I hooked you up in Hampton Beach or something like that, my cousin runs Bernie's, right?
Yeah.
So if I said they got a stage up there, fucking
that's sick. Yeah.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? It's right on the beach. I go, hey, listen, get Evan involved somehow. He'll work with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some shit like that. And then like, you know, you figure out if you want to book an artist, some fucking thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you have friends like obviously Tommy, who's like the biggest one you have. You have me that'll help you with anything. You have a bunch of other people. And it's like,
even
make
if you rented
something out
out
of it.
like the fucking grand or something for a night, like that'd be sick.
Yeah. You can rent out the venue, book your own artist, sell your own tickets.
Is that what you mean, or do you mean like literally having your own venue?
Yeah.
Like you own the venue.
Oh, that would be amazing. I think.
Yeah, that's like a long.
No,
term
he's
goal.
talking about like how like Barstool now has their own like bar.
Obviously, that's
like,
huge.
Barstool has their own bar?
No, I know that, but I'm just saying that's what you were.
Really?
Is that what you were talking about? Like your own venue is what you like.
Well, that's what in a way, kind of.
I was thinking more one-off nights, like a if Kite Night was like a mobile tour, more or less, and we could throw like
That's such a fucking hilarious name, by the way. Just Kite Night, just
Kite
chilling.
Night,
Right?
Yeah.
How long before you know what's insane to me, by the way, that you guys didn't come up with like at the start, like you know how Barstool has the banner.
Yeah.
How do you not have like a kite that's like just the Vodkyte kite?
Yeah, well, that's the
Like the
kite on
seminal.
hat.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
Yeah.
like actually a physical one. I'm saying.
Oh yeah, no, we need to make it.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
like a physical kite. That'd be
Yeah.
hilarious with like the logo on. It's all with the colors, the red and blue and shit.
Yeah.
Flying kites in the club.
Dude,
like-
or if you had it, they were doing like a beach party or something, and he's
Yeah.
got it out of the flying.
Yeah, for
We're all
sure.
flying kites in the grand.
No, we've had that idea for
But
sure.
like
yeah.
people like like some hot chick in a bikini like holding the vodka kite like on the beach holding the, like
Yeah.
dude
Oh, trust me, it's
So
in the
many-
works. Yeah.
just a bunch of gas. I mean,
so
how
many
do you
different
call it?
marketing angles you can take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think what's cool is we have like a brand, right?
Yeah.
A lot of brands they think they have a brand and they don't.
Mm-hmm.
We
Right.
have a brand.
If you
Right.
were to say, I come to you and say, Evan, I want to launch my own drink in
Mhm.
6 months or a year. What's advice you would give to someone right like in the beginning stages, a year from launching?
I think number one in this day and age, you got to have some angle that differentiates yourself. If you're just doing another vodka based seltzer,
That applies to literally everything. So you're right. You're 100% right.
yeah, you can't not have a differentiator. And then, there's so many. Are you talking like alcohol, non-alcohol, everything?
Like what's the
I guess
like what-
alcohol, yeah.
yeah,
That's what I was
anything,
referring
right,
to,
exactly.
but-
yeah, alcohol's tough, man. These companies are monstrous. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the industry.
You would need
that-
like a unique original idea that's going to really like
The
sell
other thing is
itself
like
almost.
the other challenge that he's up against is like we've seen in the past 4 or 5 years. Fucking everybody and their mother has a seltzer.
right.
yeah,
Like your
seltzer-
market is like the most stiff competition, saturated with shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a tough market to like come out of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. If we were carbonated, we'd be dead. If our product had carbonation in it, it'd be over.
Yeah. I
so-
like that you guys don't. I don't like carbonated shit. It makes me feel all bloated and gross.
Yeah,
me
right.
personally.
Right. So we differentiate ourselves enough to where we, have gauged the interest from distribution partners and investors and everything. But, there's definitely a path forward. It takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of effort. There's a lot of sacrifices that need to be made. You need to be differentiated, and you also probably need to have some sort of, network within the industry too. There's just so many loopholes with the government. Like I can't go into, the state of Georgia and sell Vodkyte to the liquor store at University of Georgia,
Yeah.
right? Like you need to
Right.
get state approvals and distributors that
Right.
need to take on your product.
What would you say? What would you advise people again as a young entrepreneur that's coming up on a year in the game, maybe a little bit more, right, from like behind the scenes shit?
Yeah.
What would you advise people not to do? What do you like? What's like a mistake you might have made, or like 1 or 2 little like things that you would have done differently, like from the jump?
Yeah, I think like you don't want to move too fast. Like you obviously don't want to not progress, but if you move too fast, it typically doesn't go as smoothly as it should.
And that goes into stuff like I feel like you're saying like almost like don't figure out how much money you need and just take that instead of like more than you need. Just
don't
to say
play it
you-
off more than you can chew.
Bingo, yes.
like
exactly.
live below your means in a way.
That's another
Yeah, I mean, like, I think, like, again, like you had mentioned, we took a bath on having to pull some product out and whatnot. The reason we went with the facility that we went with was because they gave us the cheapest price, right? And it's like, looking back, that was so stupid because there were so
Right.
many red flags about the relationship we had with them to begin with. We never should have worked with them. Like, we just ran a second batch with a different facility, and
Really?
it came out exactly as we were expecting it to from the original days. So
Very interesting.
Now, are you still with this company
the company that
or whatever you were talking the distributor?
Or you're just
or-
exclusively with the new distributor now is what he's trying.
so our distribution partners are sticking. It's our manufacturing partner, like who
Oh,
actually makes the
okay,
drinks.
I see.
Who we ran into some issues with, but no, we moved to a different manufacturing facility, second batch, totally new batch. It came out improved even over the first one. So
and you're kind of just like, we're going with these guys now. We're not going to fucking put ourselves
of
in
course,
this position again.
of course,
Right?
yeah.
Right.
Evan got his elbows dirty when you guys first started. I don't know if it was the distribution or whatever, but you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if you
Yeah.
could talk about that story or.
Oh
if you wanna get
yeah,
into
I
that.
mean
Hey here.
we paid.
I mean, I think it looks good for the brand that the CEO here was packaged. Literally, you were literally packaging
Canning.
Vodkytes for
Yeah,
how
canning
long?
them.
Was it like an 18-hour shift? or something?
18-hour shift at the brewery in
Oh,
Cincinnati.
legit?
Yeah,
Tell a little bit of the
story.
story.
That's
so,
unbelievable.
So like we were pressed to meet a timeline at the brewery, and
Give us a setting. When was this and where was this?
it was November, the first week in November. It was a Saturday. It was our last day, so they canned 4 of our flavors. They started with lemon lime, then they did fruit punch, they did our icy blue flavor after that, and then orange was the last one. So they had temp workers that were coming in to help keep the process moving, and the temp workers refused to show up on a Saturday. So they asked us, like, hey, can you guys help out? 3 of us. And we worked for 18 straight hours. We canned, like, I don't know, like 30,000 orange cans. And
Oh my fuck.
weren't you sampling them at the same time too?
so 2 of my partners were, I mean, like, as soon as it comes out of the tank, you want to try it.
You
and
have to
see
try
what it is.
it, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
It's
do that
part
with
of the
beer.
pro-
It's the same
it's
fucking
part of the
thing.
process.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
meanwhile, you're getting a buzz while you're
I
packaging.
stopped.
Buddy
I
was
stopped
in one
drinking
putting in grassroots work on the
I-
fucking, how do you call it?
I stopped drinking them very early on in the day. My 2 partners got very, very drunk. Yeah.
I mean, you got to pass the time somehow. I feel like at that
Yeah.
point. They're like, hey, listen, we're fucking in one at this point. Let's
Imagine working that long straight.
18 hours.
nope,
Yeah.
no.
No, it was insane. We
Nope.
did not leave until
No pay.
What's
Yeah.
your longest time ever worked in a row? Mine's 13, I think, at the restaurant.
Oh, dude, not that long. I mean, I've worked at Massport for like an 8 or 9 hour shift, but that was it.
Hey here, Jay Fine.
24 hours
Yeah.
That's
shoveling
fucked.
snow.
Oh, was that what it was?
Unreal.
Oh my god, that's brutal. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Sicko.
Fuck! Wow, we all just got put in a
You
fucking
probably
body
made a
bag by
fucking-
Jay Fine real quick.
You probably made a bag that day, though, no?
I did, and I gave it all to my bookie.
Oh my god.
Oh
that's the
my
worst. That's the
god!
worst.
Were you,
I
in the hole?
literally-
Were you in the holes? That
I li-
why?
Yeah, I literally worked that shift.
Oh.
Met the owner of the company the next day. Got a fat stack of cash. Drove it to my bookie's place and dropped it off.
Oh my god.
And then wanted to just absolutely end it.
That's the
I
worst.
woulda-
That
I-
is the worst.
The tilt I would have been on, bro, is you're just working for nothing. Which
Yeah,
is the worst
exactly.
part.
Yeah.
You're working for nothing. You're taking.
I was
nothing
working
away
to
from
get
all
out of
this
debt.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
god!
how did that story end? Like you guys ended up packaging them for how long straight? 18 hours?
Yes. How did this Disney
18
movie end?
hours. We just left at,
You just left.
at 2 a.m. Yeah, it was crazy.
Was
Oh
it
my
you were in
God.
Ohio? Was
Yeah,
it?
Cincinnati was where we.
How is Cincinnati as a city? Real quick, city review.
It's blue collar.
Yeah.
It's blue collar.
Right. You send it afterwards. You go to the hotel and just fucking.
Oh
was
no,
probably
there was
dead, bro.
There was no sending it.
Oh
in
yeah, that's true.
Cincinnati.
What am I
It was-
thinking? I meant not afterwards. I'm sorry. Just like in general, while you were in Cincinnati, is what I meant.
No, there was no sending it there. We had one of our
all business, no
our,
fucking
our
play.
warehouse. The person who owned our warehouse out there, he took us out one night. He was very homosexual man.
Jesus
So he
Christ.
took us to what I think was probably a gay bar. And
Nice. They know how to throw down, man. I'll tell you that right now.
yeah, it was
They don't fuck
it
around.
was an out of pocket experience. We left as soon as we could.
Hey, listen, if you were at a spot you weren't comfortable in, hey, that just is what it is. You know what I mean? Might not be the
Yeah.
spot for you, you know?
It was an interesting.
They don't fuck around,
experience.
though.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, if they throw a party, they throw a fucking party. Like,
it
they're
wasn't
not-
a party. It was a dive bar. Like,
Oh,
it was-
really?
Yeah, dude, it was not it.
That's fucking lit. What was I gonna say? Fucking what you just got on, speaking of like destinations really quick, you just came back from the Dominican,
I did.
right?
Yeah.
Didn't like the food.
No, I didn't.
Okay. What's the worst vacation you've ever been on? Like, have you had like a bad experience like traveling? You've traveled a bunch of places. Have you had a bad experience? Like, whether it's with Vodkyte or like what, like, I'm trying to think like of all the places you visited. Have you ever been like, I can't wait to get the fuck out of here?
I think in general, I don't love traveling.
So weird. Me neither, really.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I like sleeping in my own bed and shit.
Buddy, one time, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Ev, but
Tell him that-
I just like, this came to my head when you said that. So I went down to Fort Lauderdale with my family. This was like when I was like 17 or 18, and we took this like 1-day cruise from Florida to Bahamas. It was like a 1-day thing.
Really?
Stay there for a day and then come back. They took us there, and like I got off the cruise. They're like, okay, you're gonna go into the fucking whatever little town area, beach, whatever. A lady in a legit minivan picked us up, a local. She couldn't speak English. There was like 12 white people packed into her little fucking thing, and she was just like driving us around like fucking
In a Dodge Caravan?
hitting potholes and shit. And she dropped us off in this sketchy ass part. Me, my mom, and my friend, I'll never forget this. We're walking down like
Is it Marty?
No, my buddy Anthony, Dave Surratt's son, Anthony.
Oh,
You know
Anthony. Oh, yeah, that's
so
okay.
we're walking down. I guess we went down the wrong side of the beach, and there's these 6 Bahamian. How do you say Bahamian? Are they like
Bahamian, I
men?
think it is. Yeah.
And they're trying to sell us a jet ski ride for $100 for like 30 minutes. And I was like, I'm good, bro. But like they could have easily killed us and robbed us right there. And I just remember them all grilling us like mean mugging. And I was like, all right, let's just keep walking. Like come on, bro. Like you know you want to ride it. And I'm like, just keep walking. And like I just remember like it was and then we got to the fucking main part of the beach finally. Every 3 seconds is a local coming up to me trying to sell me like a bracelet, trying to sell me like soda for like $8. And I was like, bro, like we stayed there for an hour and I went right back to the ship. It was the worst experience of my life. So Bahamas for me, ass.
Hold on, wait. Bahamas. I feel like Bahamas is different at the resort.
100%. I was not at the resort.
Like the Bahamas.
I saw like 3 stray dogs and like needles on the ground and shit. And I was like, get me the fuck out now.
Yeah, dude.
That's funny.
I almost
That's
got
rough.
murdered. So there was almost no Tommy Guarino.
Yeah, so you had no how do you call it? You were like in the Bahamas, not on the resort.
In the Bahamas. I wasn't in Nassau.
Have you had like
in like the resort, like
Yeah, you weren't in Atlantis.
No.
Whatever the fuck that resort's called.
No.
You don't really have a bad travel experience where you're like, I can't wait to get the fuck out of here?
I think I always want to leave when I'm traveling.
Really?
But I travel with purpose usually. It's usually for business. It's not for enjoyment.
Mine's always on the business.
Yeah, traveling's never been something that I've spent kind of my entertainment dollars on.
Right.
I typically like I have so much good stuff going on.
There's more stuff you want to do at home. Yeah, exactly.
Here, so like I'll spend money around Boston
because that's like
the
IG, like the social media thing now. It's like travel, experience, everything. It's like,
here's the thing. For me, I'm definitely more of an entertainer than I am a soul rider, right? Like I wouldn't get anything out of going to Bora Bora with like a girl or something. Like I'd rather a party with 100 people there, and like I'll rent an Airbnb or whatever. I'll spend money on my rent in my apartment and throw parties, but like I don't do stuff alone.
Okay, that's interesting. My worst would probably be we went to do this video at Plymouth State one night, and like this was for Smack College. This was this brand called Smack College that my buddy ran. Smack High. And
when was this, bro? 2015?
14. I was like 22. Yeah.
Shit. So what was the video?
We were doing the Plymouth State video.
But
so
you've been doing content since
this kid's been in the content game for like 10
buddy.
years,
I've been doing videos since 2012.
So how have you not been with like Barstool or something like that?
I auditioned for Idol in 2015. I was the
Barstool Idol.
I was the first person on the second week, and I got 3 unanimous
this kid
no's.
Talked to Dave Portnoy.
Oh yeah,
Mark Lewis talked to Dave Portnoy.
Damn.
Yeah. Caleb was the other judge, and so was KFC's. I got 3 no's. I thought I had a really good pitch. So I'll pitch you my idea. Ready? So my idea really quick was
wait. So Barstool Idol, for perspective, is like you bring an idea to Barstool.
Not even. You literally just you get up on a microphone in front of everybody in the office and be like, "This is why you should hire me." It's the worst setup ever.
But that is horrible.
I think it's good. I think you pitch.
Dude, imagine trying to sell yourself though. I can't sell myself.
I know.
So I rode the train in with Clem, the big heavy guy from New York.
Sure.
And he was like, none of us at the office have any idea what we would do on Barstool Idol. No one has a clue.
But go ahead. What were you saying?
I think it's a platform for somebody to showcase their potential value add.
It is. It's just
so here's my take as a business owner, right? I get so many DMs, texts, whatever. Let me work for you. Let me do this. Let me do that. Pay me this. Let me do this. How about we do this? It's
what
like,
do you provide for me?
It's like you got to do it.
Yeah.
But not only that, like, have you done it before? Because like for example, right? Like you've done the skits. You've done this. You've done that. Like you're not pitching me on like, hey, let me try this out for you and pay me a shit ton.
Well, that's like I do now with the restaurant stuff that I've kind of like now. So, dude, I just did a video, like not that I did it for Kowloon, but I showed them like I could show Kowloon. I just did a video for you that did 300,000.
Yeah,
I did that place Franco's in Waltham, 125,000. Like I have the numbers.
You should start partnering with restaurants.
That's what I'm trying to do. I don't want to do reviews. I'm just doing like my experience. I don't want to make it look like they're paying me for a review. That would be disingenuous. So I just do like the Newbridge video I just did. Yep. It's like my experience at Newbridge.
I saw that.
That's all it is. It's not like it's
a good bit. But tell me your Barstool Idol pitch.
So my first thing was like a
Portnoy and KFC right now.
And Caleb. So my first thing was like a Barstool way to like review colleges. So basically what we do is we send like a video team out to do some video footage and get like a feel, do some student interviews. And what we do is like we take the college and break it down by academic, like prestige, nightlife, athletics, the food in the cafeteria.
Had Barstool been doing that?
No.
Had you done it before?
Yes, with Smack College. I had 5 blogs written about Merrimack College, Fitchburg State, Plymouth, UMass Amherst, and UNH.
And you pitched this on Barstool Idol?
Correct.
And what did they say?
Their response?
They told me no, they already had the Dixie tour at the time. And I'm like, it's not the same at all. This is completely different. I wanted Barstool to have a complete database of colleges that people could go, look at the video, and then read the blog and get a breakdown from like the everyman's perspective on what a college
like
is
what Dave does with his pizza reviews. But
bingo.
For
it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Sounds like a great idea
at all. Yeah, because
I felt like the sponsorship would have been the easiest thing in the world to fucking get. Would add Vodkyte on it, not a big deal.
What was this girl Dixie? Was it like how?
No, it's not a girl Dixie. It was Caleb Presley's first thing that he did. It's called
Dixie.
That actually.
No, it was
the Dixie tour.
The Dixie tour was like
Barstool until like 3 years
so
ago.
they did like a it was a bunch of like tailgates they did like through like SEC colleges, and they called it Dixie because you could say that back then. And like you know what I'm saying, Jay Fine, you could say that back then, and it was like a tailgating tour that they did.
So it's not what you were doing.
Not at all what I was doing. And Caleb's like, yeah, we already do that. I'm like, no, you don't. This is completely different.
They
and
just,
I wanted
take your idea and have Caleb do it.
well, no, the second thing I had was like a wildlife pet show that like people would come on to. Like we'd have like a wildlife expert on and have like Barstool personalities like experience like these animals. You know, people brought on like little cheetah cubs, little bear cubs. You know, sometimes Jack Hanna would bring on like a little anteater or a warthog or things like that, and just have like the personalities of
so
Barstool.
Like Barstool Outdoors a little bit, but like
thank you. The next week, Young Pageview showed up in the office with a fucking wallaby. And then Barstool.
I'm not familiar with Barstool Outdoors, so I'm not sure.
Do you remember
Barstool Outdoors?
I've heard of them. I'm not too familiar with them.
It's basically now it's like a wildlife show. So basically what she does is like they go like fishing and like hunt and stuff like that, which isn't exactly what I wanted to do, but I wanted to do something based around animals. But like the college database thing was something that I wanted to like have.
I think not saying the pet one was a bad idea.
No, the college one's definitely the better idea. I just
out
had
of
like
the college one would have.
I would agree too.
Probably could have been on. You know,
I don't know why. I didn't know why they didn't want to.
Did you not do a good job explaining it?
I thought I was maybe. I mean, maybe it just sounded better in my head than it did coming outwards. Do I think I was at my best?
Did you prepare for it at all?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have that long to prepare. They emailed me. I was there the next day.
Oh wow!
So they emailed me on a Monday. I was there on Tuesday at 11 in the morning. Yeah. I literally drove out to New York at like 12 at night.
Jesus Christ.
Pulled into my uncle's house in Oneonta, fell asleep at 2, took a deathly, almost emergency room allergic reaction to their cat. Woke up, my face looked like Will Smith and Hitch when he like drinks, when he eats the bad fish.
Take some Benadryl or
4 Benadryl. Okay,
so you're tired.
So I almost OD'd on Benadryl.
Yeah.
I'm half zapped. I meet Clem at the fucking train station. I go all the way into Grand Central Station. We separate. My phone dies on the way to the place. I find it like almost by accident on the way to Barstool HQ.
Did they document this at all? Didn't you tell me they videoed it? Didn't you tell me
it's
that?
on video somewhere. Yeah, you can find
funny,
it.
dude.
Before
That's-
Benadryl, you start slurring your words at that point. Like
Yeah,
your
bro.
face is, dude. You know that
Granted, my
episode
face
of
swelled. I looked like I gained 20 pounds.
You know that episode of Always Sunny where they do the high school reunion and they think they're dancing like superstars, but they're just drunk and they look like
Yeah,
idiots?
yeah, exactly.
Maybe you thought you were delivering it, but your face was all blown up. You're slurring your words on Benadryl. Like
No,
you
I
just
watched the
like-
video back. I mean, like
You
I thought I
blacked
was.
out.
I thought I was okay. Did I do anything to stand out? No, but I thought I had a good concept.
I think that's
Yeah.
something like it's one of those things where like
Would you have
you
said
have
yes?
to execute it.
I don't know. I haven't watched the video and seen like you present the college thing. I don't know about the exotic pets. That seems like a liability.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, if late night TV does it, like Barstool can't.
They probably could have figured it out. They maybe at the time too. Barstool was kind of sports and college centered, right?
Yeah,
wasn't
It would have been something very unique that they hadn't done before. Yeah, so I get
Yeah.
it.
So maybe it's not entirely on brand, the pet thing, the exotic pets, but it does get views though. So
Yeah,
because like you see a tiger or whatever, you're like, holy shit, right?
like in the studio, like in the Barstool HQ, people are like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Yeah, I mean, also like the logistics of getting that thing into a Manhattan corporate
Yeah.
building.
Yeah,
might
that's
not-
true.
Might not be all that.
Right.
But yeah, the college reviews and whatnot. Like people used to tune when I was in high school. People used to tune into the I'm Schmacked videos to
Right.
try to
Thank you.
see what colleges had cool parties, right?
That
So
right.
like if you had like a party video, you know, reviews of the food, review like from like the Barstool voice too,
Mhm.
people then take it for like they don't
Exactly. It
think
was
it's
supposed to be
capped,
an
you know?
everyman's review of a college instead of like the college like national review board.
I
And we would have
think,
broke it down into five categories,
right.
scored them each, and then gave them the college a median score of this much.
Honestly, bro, it is a great idea. It's just, I mean, all I can think of is at the time maybe the delivery wasn't as good.
Probably, maybe not.
Maybe
Yeah,
that's-
maybe I
I
was
mean,
just a little nervous. I don't think I was at my best. I wasn't the content creator I am now. Then it was 2015. I was nobody.
Dude, if they put you on the spot in front of Portnoy, Caleb, and KFC, you have a day to prepare. Like anyone's going to be nervous for that. You know?
Yeah, right.
So
It is what it-
I'm not knocking you. It's just
No,
like
no.
maybe that's what it was. Like the
Honest to
execution
God,
of
and
the
honest to
idea.
God, dude, I wasn't like mad about it. I just was like, you know what? I just stayed on the grindstone.
Yeah.
I've been doing content, bro, since legitimately 2012, 2013. Like when Instagram first started video. That's when I first started doing. I was 2 years out of high school. I'm 30 now.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it just hit for me like a year and a half ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you stay with it. Feel bad. You got to get going.
Yeah, I got to start dipping. I mean, if you guys want to keep it going.
Yeah. As long as you want, if we want to do another
Yeah.
half hour, that's fine.
Yeah, whatever you want to keep talking.
All
about,
right.
keep
Well,
going.
I'm gonna start heading out.
Yeah,
But
do what you gotta do,
Thanks
bro.
for having me, bro. I'll
Dude.
definitely be back to HQ.
You don't have
at
to thank
some
us
point
for anything.
soon.
You kidding me? You can come by whenever you want. It's good to have you
do
back
have
for a
to
little
move
bit.
This anywhere? Or just keep it in the same spot.
Yeah, you can keep it there.
Good.
Just fling it off the wall.
All right,
Just-
boys.
just-
All right, keep the conversation going. Again, Tommy at Hedgequarters. No, in Hedgequarters at Hedge Better. It was great talking to you. I'll see you later.
GG's. Hey, glad to have the boy back for a little bit, to be honest with you. It's nice to have him back in here.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Don't forget all your
Yeah.
shit here, bud. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead. Just continue conversation.
You want to just pretend you're not here?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, I got you. You're a ghost at this point. What was I going to say? What do you think, Ev, if you, and I say this on, like, I had kind of a TikTok about this a couple of months ago. What do you like? What's your, like, top 5? What's your favorite Cape Cod bar? What do you think is the best bar on Cape Cod? Because this is going to be a hot TikTok clip. I'm telling you right now. You got to nail this one.
Shout out the port in Harwich Port. They're going to be pushing Vodkyte. So.
You're the corporate play. You got to get what before Vodkyte,
No,
though.
it's not corporate. It's not corporate. It's a
No,
small
not
bar.
corporate, but you know what I mean. Like they're
Yeah.
like doing the event.
No, I'm good friends with the owner, so the port's the spot for sure.
Okay.
And we'll be in the Falmouth Raw Bar too. So,
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be dope then. What's your favorite like regular like just Boston like bar?
My favorite bar. To be honest, I don't like bars.
Really?
I like clubs. I go to
Really? You're more of a club guy?
more of a club guy.
Would have never guessed that. That's
Yeah.
crazy, man. Wow. What So what do you have a favorite like spot? I've always thought like I've always enjoyed as far as clubs go. I gotta say the one night I went to the Grand was unreal.
The Grand's my favorite club.
I think Memoir is nice too. I was just there again.
Memoir is my second favorite club.
Really? I like it. We're on the same wavelength there. I like it.
Yep.
And I've never been to Royale, but I feel like it's really crowded. Cure is okay. It's like a more of a loungy vibe. Boston's got some good like low key or like type of clubs. I like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Boston nightlife in general? Because people, it's always a hot topic of contention. People think they shut down. I do think they close too early. 2 a.m. What do you think?
I think 2 a.m. is a good hour.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
No shit. I think that. What do you think?
Nothing good happens after 2 a.m.
Tell you what,
Shit,
makes more money, though. You could keep the MBTA open longer.
You do, but they also did it weirdly too. Like I used to bounce at Capo, and like I used to think it was weird that like Capo closed before Lincoln. Like Capo was a bigger place, like suited for more people.
What time does
like,
Capo close?
Capo closed at 1. Lincoln closed at 2. Like
Really?
I never understood why they did that. Yeah, I would have done it the other way. Lincoln at 1, Capo at 2.
Right, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. They do some weird shit.
That is odd. Yeah, the city of Boston is different. It's a very like I don't know. I don't think it's meant to be New York. It's not meant to be open 24 hours a day. Like, you know what I mean? So I just fucking whatchamacallit. Are you still the you have season tickets to the Bees? Oh no, Slane Masters does.
Masters does.
So what's the next game you're headed to?
I don't know.
I'm trying to get tickets. I'm trying to get tickets to
see if he tosses me an invite to a playoff game. Eh?
I know. I'm trying to think I'm trying to get April 23rd, this Saturday, Rangers. I want to get that. I on average, religiously, I go to one game a year.
Mm-hmm.
Like one game a year. So at least one, I should say.
Yep.
Haven't gone yet, so I'm trying to get this Saturday game for the Rangers. I like to get them right. I like to go right before the playoffs. That's like my favorite time to go to the Bees.
Yeah.
Playoff atmosphere, I feel like everybody's in a good mood.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like my thing. Now, were you hockey was your main sport growing up?
I spent the most time probably in a hockey rink. I was a little bit better at baseball.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit, huh? Now, did you want to play any sport in college?
Oh yeah, I had scholarship offers to play baseball, but I tore my labrum in my throwing shoulder.
So you were a pitcher?
No, I played shortstop.
Short. Okay. You're a taller, kind of like slender guy.
Yeah.
Rangy middle infielder, I can see.
Absolutely.
Hit at the top of the order.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There you go. How was the competition at Tabor like for high school? Did you play against any guys that ended up playing somewhere big?
Absolutely. Shout out Jared Schuster. He played on our team. He went first round in the MLB draft.
Wow.
Last year. Yep. Yeah,
last year, okay.
Signed for like $2 million.
Who scooped him?
Atlanta Braves took him 25th overall.
Not a bad organization to get drafted by, I would say.
Yeah, he's a lefty pitcher, man. He throws steam. He's like, I think he's like the 4th rated lefty pitcher in their system. He's already in the AA.
Good for him.
Yeah,
nice.
he's nice. A stud.
Obviously crushed it in rookie ball.
Did well. I think he had decent numbers. Where he did his damage was in the Cape Cod League. He had the lowest ERA.
Dream, dude.
Yeah, he had the lowest ERA for the.
Who did he play for?
He played for Orleans Firebirds, I think.
Yeah, that's sick.
He's from New Bedford.
Good, is he really? New Bedford
kid.
Guy? That's awesome.
Yeah, we had another kid, PJ Poulin. Shout out to him as well. He's also in AA for the Rockies organization.
Wow, dude, you had some good fucking.
PJ was a stud, dude. He was a 5-tool player too in the.
It's tough.
Field.
One guy goes to the defending World Series champs. One goes to probably maybe the worst run organization in the fucking league. Which
he's been with the Rockies for a while. He's a few years older than Jared. Okay. He's very, very talented. I wouldn't be surprised if both of those guys end up in the show.
Shout out to Lynn Mass, by the way. Ben Bowden started opening day for the Rockies last year. Yep. How about hockey? Did you play against anybody that fucking ended up?
Oh my God, all the guys playing the show now. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, New England Prep Private, dude. It's a feeder system.
And I was a '97 birth year, and I played AAA hockey growing up. So I played against all of them.
Right. Who was the best? Sometimes it's not always the guy that ends up with the best career, which is funny.
Yeah, Noah Hannafin was the best guy in the United States.
Oh my God, I can't imagine playing against that fucking kid.
Yeah,
he's like the best. He might be the best skating defenseman in the league. The guy is unreal.
He's had a good NHL career. I think he's been the best player in the United States since we were 5 years old. So
you just heard about that kid your whole fucking life. And
I played against him growing up. He's from Norwood. He played on the South Shore Kings. I played on the Providence Capitals when I was 6 years old. So I played
really?
Him. Oh yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. No. He was the best '97 birth year all of youth hockey until. Literally recently, like Austin Matthews.
So that was the fucking guy. Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I think he went 5th overall in the draft.
He did to the Hurricanes.
Yep.
Right.
Trying to think. McDavid went 1.
This is 2015, right?
Yep.
Eichel went
2. Eichel was the same draft year. Dylan Strome, I think, went 3.
Yep.
I can't remember who went fourth.
4 was it wasn't Chikrin, was it?
No.
No, Chikrin went 6, I think, the year after. 2015.
It could have been
oh my God, don't tell me who this is.
Mitch Marner.
Yeah, it was Mitch Marner.
Marner.
You're right, it was
fourth.
Mitch Marner.
So all those guys are, you know, other than Eichel's a 96 birth year, obviously from Chelmsford and whatnot. So like,
right.
But of the 97s, Noah Hannafin went highest for United States players. Then the following year, Austin Matthews went number 1 overall, and he's a 97 birth year. But
right.
Yeah, Noah Hannafin was the guy for sure.
He was disgusting.
Yeah, and he played on that 97 Kings team that had like Colin White, Lincoln Griffin played at Northeastern. They had a bunch of studs. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they were a top 3 team in the country every year. Them, Long Island Gulls, and like the St. Louis Blues and whatnot, Detroit CompuWare. They were the top 5 teams.
That's unbelievable, dude. Fucking wow. So you played against some serious talent in both sports.
At a very young age, played with and against some good talent. Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now, how were you guys, like, as far as like high school sports goes, like, how were you guys in, like, how was the program? Like,
baseball was very, very good. We won the, we won our league our sophomore year in New England champs.
Oh, wow. That's unbelievable. Okay.
Yeah. No, we were studs.
Tabor's always been a good hockey program, too.
Yep. Hockey was good. I mean, we definitely underperformed for the talent level that we had, unfortunately. Really? Yeah. But, it's competitive. Like, all the teams are good. So,
yeah,
that definitely had something to do with it.
Now, when you got to UMass, do you have to make the decision where it's like, do I try and play like an intramural sport, like club sports or something like that? Like, did that cross your mind?
I played club hockey for a hot second, and I got injured, and it was just not worth it for me.
Really?
Yeah.
And I heard the club team at UMass was pretty good at the time.
Oh yeah, for club hockey, it was.
They always had one of the better ones because it was like, dude, like the varsity team kind of sucked for a long time, and then
so it was interesting. The UMass hockey team was terrible for a while, and then they won the Natty.
It's insane. Makar shows up and everything changes.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah, Makar and Frank Vetrano apparently. What was the other one? And Connor Sherry. So Vetrano and Sherry was so weird because like UMass was bad, but both of those guys came right off the team.
So you played hockey growing up?
Yeah.
Where?
So I'm from Georgetown, Mass. So I'm from up by like like the Topsfield Fair.
Yeah.
So I'm the town over.
Yeah, I know where.
The only thing is, like, we didn't have a high school team, so I didn't play in high school. You would have had to like co-op with this other regional school. The program sucked. I was like a big baseball player in high school. I played briefly in college.
Yep.
That was
Where'd you go to school?
Georgetown High.
Yeah, college.
Oh, college. Oh, this JUCO up in Haverhill, Necco. I only played like my fall semester. I just realized college sports, like, I'm like, I don't want to. It's a 7-day-a-week thing. Like, I just lost my love for it.
Yeah.
And then I just went and played men's league and loved it.
Yeah. And
I haven't stopped since. I'm in the North Shore League now, so I play for the Manchester Marlins, which is dope. Shout out to Mac and all the boys. North Shore League's great. It's like dude, I'm the oldest guy on the team. I'm 30.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I mean? But and it's weird because UMass at this point, like I said, they always had like a good club team. Because people don't realize, dude, just because like you're not a fucking D1 hockey player doesn't mean like you're bad. You know how many guys that probably played like you, dude? You played fucking Tabor, and you're out there with the club team. You could have played college hockey somewhere.
Yeah, hockey's competitive.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's only like 55 Division I programs.
Yeah,
or something
dude.
Like that.
Like
so
what the fuck?
It's competitive for sure.
How was it for you with your we're talking about college like athletic experiences? Like how was it for you with Bentley? Like when you first got there?
Bentley was interesting because like I originally wanted to go there to play basketball. Like that's like what I was gonna do. And then like I decided that I wasn't kind of at the last second. So I didn't play basketball, I still went there. But like it was super interesting because like our only program that was Division I was hockey. Everything else was Division II. But the hockey team was like the team that flew the most under the radar for some weird
That's
reason.
odd. I always looked at Bentley like a hockey school too.
And
baseball. They have a pretty good baseball team.
Hockey is their biggest sport, but it was like football, like soccer, like those guys, like they were even like track, like those guys just for some reason.
Like college hockey in general is just like I don't know that I love where it's at with these like 24-year-old freshmen coming back from juniors and shit. You don't see that anywhere else in any other college sport. And how do you feel about that from like the whole, like, what's the, like, do you think that dilutes the sport, like takes away the whole like college-y feel?
I think the kids are so good at such a young age now that you should definitely realize when you're not kind of, but then again, like a good example, do you know who Brandon Tanev is? For
Yeah.
plays for the Penguins. Yeah. So
Late bloomer,
you know, like I'm one of my best friends, Eric Foley, played at Providence College with Brandon Tanev. And, you know, Eric was, 19 years old when Tanny was 25 or whatever. And like, dude, Tanny blew up out of nowhere, and now he's got a solidified NHL career. So I understand why some of these guys stick to the grind.
Yeah,
but,
I get it. Right.
But I do think, the theme is that the kids are really, really talented at a really young age. Hockey's definitely kind of transitioned from like a physical sport to like, a kid like Clayton Keller. He's tiny, right? He's ripping up the NHL. Right. So like these kids are very talented at a young age. I do think that part of it has to transition from like these kids just thinking they're going to get their shot to like coming back down to reality a bit. But, scholarships are worth a lot of money, right? So if you're going to, if your coach wants to put you through the junior system and everything, but you have that, $230,000 scholarship, it's usually
people don't realize, dude, Tanev like didn't play hockey at like 17 years old. Like he stopped playing hockey and then like went back to it.
I don't know if that is true. That may be true, but he
pretty sure I'm almost positive he said that on Chicklets. Like he like didn't play for a year. Like he kind of just took a year off or whatever.
He may have. I'm not sure. His brother also plays in the NHL too.
Yeah, so Chris, right? Yeah,
but he definitely wasn't like a highly touted prospect out of junior.
No, definitely not
like that. Found his way on like the PC roster somehow. Put in his work, put in his time, and then like his junior and senior year like lit it up.
Right.
So, yeah, he's a stud, but
and now he's on a 6-year contract in the NHL now, and he's going to be set for life when it's all said and done. Even if he doesn't get re-upped or whatever the fuck, doesn't matter. So it was worth it for him. You know what I'm saying?
He's in the 20s of millions, I think.
Is there anything else that you want to tell before we close out? Tell the people about Vodkyte and what this brand is all about. I want the people to hear it from you.
Yeah, I think what makes us unique is that, we have a very cool product, obviously, and a differentiated one that, people are gravitating towards, but we also show people a relatable experience, and we care about our customers, and we care about our people that support us. And, we're up against big companies that plug into the system, and, you have no idea why you're even purchasing one of their products, but, we're not going away. The Vodkyte will be around forever. We have a big enough net in Massachusetts to where like this thing will keep moving. And
even if it just stays growing and flourishing in Massachusetts.
Yep, it will exist for a very long time for sure. So we're not stopping. The goal is national distribution or potentially even global. But we appreciate all the support, and if you haven't tried it yet, definitely.
Local brand, guys, Vodkyte. Where can they find it, like off the top of their head? Like, do you have a couple of big places, or is it so many now that you're just like,
we're in 130 liquor stores. So
the chances are it's available near you is basically what we're getting at
you
here.
can check out the website for a store locator, vodkyte.com.
Yeah. Show you everything on there, vodkyte.com, Vodkyte on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Vodkyte on TikTok.
Yep.
Same shit.
Yep.
So that'll wrap today's episode. F, thank you for coming on, man. I hope you had a good time. Hope this is what you thought this was going to be. And
it's cool, man. I appreciate you guys.
It's a lot of fun, right? Yeah, no, I had fun. Jay Fine had fun. I know it was great to have Tommy back here. So yeah, guys, Vodkyte, official sponsor of the episode. Right there, guys. Check it out.